there there are whispers as far as a long term plan for LeBron. 2.5 years. I say long term plan, but there's whispers that LeBron James is putting together an ownership group as we speak because the NBA has unofficially greenlit two more expansion teams. So they're going to finally get their Vegas team they've been trying to get for 20 years, and then the Seattle Supersonics will return. With that said, to make the conferences even, a Western team has to move east, and they haven't decided who it is yet. I think it's going to be New Orleans because I believe they're the closest team to the Eastern Conference. And I think the last time they realigned, I was supposed to research this. Sorry, I forgot. Been busy. I think the Pelicans slash Hornets slash Jazz have been in the East before. So I think that's going to be the move to make. With that said, LeBron cannot be an owner and a player at the same time. Can't happen.
Mm.
They're targeting 2025, which means effectively we have this year and next year, and then we might not see LeBron again as far as a player. So let me ask you this: how do you feel about and he is going to break the scoring record this year if he averages like 20 points a game or whatnot. So
Mm.
what impact do you think LeBron James has left on the game? Like, what is his legacy, considering we may only have 2 years left?
Um, he's. I think there's the GOAT argument is the one that people like to have had for a long time. But now that we're actually nearing the true end of the career, we can have a more realistic conversation. And I think it's just going to come down to what people saw, like at what ages, and basically it's just going to come down to some opinion arguments because statistically we've taught even you that LeBron is going to go down as the greatest player of all time. There's really no question. But then a lot goes into what makes someone the greatest of all time, and it's not just you can't you don't just have that argument with Jordan. You can have it with a few players. Um, Kobe Bryant was taken from us early, but his career, his basketball career, is one of Laker legend, not just NBA legend. And I feel like in just the time in the last, couple decades, we've seen it two to three, four major, not just, NBA talent, but like generational cultural talent. And we've seen some amazing things. And I just feel like each should be appreciated for its own, whatever accolades they have. But I don't think, there's people like you that's like, uh, there's things you don't like about LeBron James off the court, some of his character that he's expressed over the years, how he handles things, weak, whatever you want to call him. But as far as what he's accomplished, I don't think there's any like respectable way to talk about him outside of like your top five of all time conversation. And he's in the conversation for greatest of all time. It just depends on the argument you want to make. Our age group, the way we grew up, we got to see Jordan. You more so than me. Um, that's gonna hold like a special place with us because of what we got to saw or got to see. Your father's generation, he grew up with something else. He got to see, Dr. J, things like that. There's different ones for each generation, but in terms of uh, winning rings, stats, especially stats, there's no way to like have a real negative argument about LeBron James's legacy. He's going to come out um, part owner of a team. He's going to stay in the business. He's will probably have a larger role in his agency that he doesn't have a part of now. You know, everybody knows, but you know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
just like he's following in Jordan's steps in a way, to where they're just building off that legacy career. Um, like Magic Johnson, you know what I mean. People that have went on to just grow massively
Yeah.
outside of just a basketball player. So I
Even
don't. There's
Shaquille.
nothing negative to say on the court. He's one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time. You know, he's up there in those conversations, and on the court, I don't think there's anything really bad you can say about it. So, and then the players who have played with him, outside of Kyrie Irving, who has a problem with like most people, nobody has anything bad about or to say about LeBron. You know, like you said earlier, even when he's left teams, he's really done it in the right way.
Mhm.
So I don't have anything bad to say about LeBron James. If you have a problem with his character or stuff that he's done outside the court, like I said, that's one thing. But what he's done in the NBA is nothing short of impressive and legendary and generational and whatever accolades you want to throw on him. Nothing bad to say about him.
Yeah. The the guy, it's a love hate thing with him. Um,
Yeah, he
because I
brought your Heatles
fiercely
2 more championships or three, whatever.
because I fiercely defended the legacy of Dwayne Wade. I hated LeBron James. I hated all the coverage LeBron got because I'm like, hey, this kid in Miami is pretty good too. Let's just be real. And then of that draft class, Wade was the first one to win the championship. I got to throw that out there.
But I don't feel like you should be defensive. Wade won the championship there.
No,
Before
I was
LeBron,
always. You're
he
right, but
proved
I'm saying
himself. The league knew what Wade was.
I was always defensive of Wade's legacy because I just felt like LeBron overshadowed him. Even though Wade was successful very young, LeBron was still getting all the press, even when Cleveland was getting first round exits. Now, what helped LeBron was, because people forget this, the year after the Heat won that first championship, LeBron actually got to the finals and got ass raped by Tim Duncan. Okay, just, people forget that that was his first. The year after Wade, LeBron was next. Okay? He got there. When he came to Miami, of course, I knew. You just know, okay, we're going to win the championship. Um, but then I had to still kind of try to like him a little bit, right? It was probably December of that first season in Miami, and I just really said I was watching him play because I'm not saying this because I'm a Heat fan. The best LeBron James was Heat LeBron. He was playing more defense. He was taking charges. He was doing everything. Shit we had never seen him do before. Playing center for the first time. Like we've never seen that. That was his prime years in Miami. So probably around December, I was watching the Heat game, and I'm just like, I can't even fight it no more. This guy's better than D Wade. Like I had to admit it to myself. I'm like, this guy is something special. And I mean, D Wade knew that shit. He knew it. But he is gonna be the greatest statistical player to ever play this, to ever touch a fucking basketball. That's what he is. And when he came to LA when we were starting this podcast, we said, okay, this is gonna be the last chapter. Like this. We find out it might not be his last team, but he's gonna be his last few years in the league. We kind of figured that. And now seeing that there could be a definite end, it kind of makes me a little sad because as a player, I do like him. I do like what he leaves on the court. It's just the off the court shit that I don't fuck with him with. But on the court, I would want my son to play basketball like LeBron James. I would teach any young kid how to play basketball like LeBron James, to be unselfish, to be professional at the things that you deal with your organization, to have the amazing footwork that he has. His defense has slipped, but that happens when you get older. So I'm not even going to knock him on that. He's a pass first hybrid point guard, point forward, point center, whatever the fuck you want to call him. And he's going to break the all time scoring record this year, barring injury. That is unheard of. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because he doesn't even shoot first. And I went back and forth on if I wanted to talk about this on the podcast or not, because you know me, I usually wait until I have concrete stuff. But I see the chess moves happening.
Mm-hmm.
I can see them clearly, so that's why I text you about it. Um, he will not also be able to get the sports agency, which was the original plan before the ownership plan. So he won't be able to get that. So that's out of the question too. So Maverick and
Mm-hmm.
those boys, they'll still have that. You know, once he may be able to get his return on investment on it. Let's be real, he doesn't even need it. So the wording is that LeBron's going to be the majority owner, and then he's going to bring in some guys, Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony, and maybe even D Wade to be minority owners. So as I told you offline, we may
Mm-hmm.
have the banana boat crew along with other investors in this Vegas team, and it is unbelievable.
Do you think the NBA even needs two more teams? Do you think that's a good idea?
They're not going to turn down the money. So I know you talked about the talent being diluted just a little bit, but they're not going to turn down the money. And like I said, they've tried to get in Vegas for years, and Vegas is viable. And they just got the football team. Just got the football team the past couple of years. Um, so yeah, they're going to get there. They owe Seattle. Like, I'm never going to say no to that. They absolutely owe that fan base because that was some bullshit. The Thunder needs to have that off of them. So it's good for the Thunder too. They have to have that off of them. So um, I don't mind it. I want to see how the East shakes up if New Orleans moves east, which we talked about that as well, because they're probably going to be in the Southeast Division with our teams. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but LeBron James is the player that I would want to start my franchise with, more so than any other player I can think of, because he is that great. It was a pleasure to watch him for 4 years in Miami, to watch him grow, watch him learn how to be a winner, and then take that to Cleveland and win there, and then take it to LA and win there. He's incredible. The only thing that I worry about with LeBron is that the biggest threat to his legacy is playing right now. And if Golden State can pull out another championship, I think we have to put Steph up there. We have to. Like,
Yeah.
and there's a word that you use, undeniable or something, I believe it is. If Stephen Curry ends up with more championships than LeBron James, I think the conversation changes just a little bit
Mm-hmm.
because we would have to give Stephen his flowers. And I know it's people who love Steph, people who hate Steph. So just like the Jordan lovers hate LeBron, you have the LeBron lovers that hate Steph and hate Jordan lovers. It's like all over the place, right? Because everyone's trying to defend everyone else's legacy. But I do believe if Stephen Curry, LeBron's at 4, if Stephen Curry gets 5, conversation changes just a little bit.
If you could pick one guy to build your team around, I'm going to give you four options. Would you
Okay.
pick Steph, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, or Shaquille O'Neal?
Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay.
If they're all playing like same time,
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal, and that's no knock to LeBron. That's no knock to Wade. That's no knock to Stephen Curry.
Okay.
Shaquille O'Neal was
I thought you might go with Shaq. I was just wondering.
Shaquille O'Neal is one of those players. I'm not gonna say was more special than LeBron James. I'm not gonna say that, but the impact that LeBron James had, where he went to the finals so many years in conference finals, Shaq had a run similar to that, where he was in the conference finals like 10 years in a row. He didn't necessarily get to the finals like LeBron did, but he was right there, and it was still an incredible run. And then every team he went with until the end, he actually led to the finals in some capacity until his legs broke from under him. But no, Shaq was very, very, very dominant. The injuries is what slowed him down, which LeBron didn't have to deal with until now. Same thing with Wade, injuries. Steph dealt with his injuries early on, um, more so.
Mm-hmm.
But um, Shaq, for your question, but LeBron James is outside of Michael Jordan the most special NBA player I've ever seen, and I'm happy again that he came to Miami and learned how to put all of his tools together. Because who knows what would have happened if he won the game? Because so much shit had to happen. He had to learn so much shit on the go. He had to feel the pain again against Dallas. He had to feel that pain and then just took off. So yeah, kudos to LeBron. He's gonna be missed. And if he does get the team in Vegas, kudos to him. I don't see the NBA saying no to him. I think they want that. Um,
They've never
I
said no
think
to him before.
pretty much no. So it's I think it's a done deal that is going to happen, and it's just sad because we're in 2022 now, so by 2025 he's going to be gone, and he still should be able to because 2024 I believe is where he could possibly play with Bronny, so that'd be a nice story for a season to watch too. So it's everything's in line, man.
Yeah, yeah. His legacy is going to be cemented. I just worry. It's like we have teams like Sacramento, right? We have teams like you could
Yeah,
argue
they
people would
great up.
throw the Magic out there, right? You know, what is like? Is it such a good idea to add two more teams instead of and the teams that have the cities that have teams they hate to hear it like Seattle had to go through it, but it's like
Yeah.
is it a better idea to just give another city a chance at a team? Like OKC has thrived there. Like you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like they
Mm-hmm.
took advantage of it. I just don't know. I hope it goes well because there's already teams that never have a shot, and then you're going to add to.
Well, see, Seattle that fan base can can support an NBA team. They did it for 30 years. The Sonics actually won the championship in 1979. I believe went to the finals in 78 or 80 and lost. Went to the finals in 96 and lost. Um, they can support a team. They've done it before. They have the arena. It wasn't their fault that they lost the team. It wasn't their fault at all. So that's why the NBA has been trying to get a team back. You know, they tried to move Sacramento up there years ago, but the city rose up and stopped that. You can't bring in one team. You have to bring in
Right.
two. My camera angle's off. You have to bring in two. So that's where Vegas comes in at. Like a city like Jacksonville, sorry Kevin, probably can't do it.
Yeah,
Vegas,
Jacksonville doesn't need more teams.
yeah. But I'm just saying I was thinking of another big city who has an NFL team. Vegas can do it. They're hungry for basketball. They're just like Oklahoma City. Look, when Hurricane Katrina hit and they had to move the Hornets, Oklahoma City, I kid you not, was trying to get the Orlando Magic. You had Tampa and Oklahoma City trying to get the Magic. They already had the arena built. They're ready. Orlando said no. Um, then Katrina hit. The NBA was like, okay, let's move the Hornets up there for 2 seasons. And then they saw that fan base. It was crazy. It was crazy. So that's how that got rolling with Seattle ending up the Sonics ending up at Oklahoma City. But you fuck Seattle over. So now you got to fix it. Just like when the NBA moved the Bobcats from Charlotte. Well, moved the Hornets from Charlotte. They
Hmm.
had to fix it. That's why you got the team back up there. They had to fix that. So it's gonna happen. 2025. LeBron's gonna be gone, sadly. Um, and like I said, he will be the greatest statistical player in the history of the NBA because he has 2 more years to pad
Yeah.
his stats. You know, some people accuse him of padding stats, so he has 2 more years to pad those stats. Look, if he wants his assist numbers up, he just can't pass the ball to Westbrook. Just saying. Just